Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Dr. Ruby Gill, and I welcome you all on the behalf of Lovely Professional University. So, attendees, I know you might be wondering the reason of gathering virtually. So, let me reveal the reason we are here with an agenda to tell you how to decode the next level jobs. And for that, we have our expert to brief you about. So, kindly allow me to introduce the experts of the day. Dr. Harpal Sethi, Professor and Senior Director, Division of Career Services, Lovely Professional University. He's a technology enthusiast, digital native, avid learner, passionate educationist, researcher, and a person with a proven academic thought leader in the field of higher education. He has been quite instrumental in elevating the visibility of brand LPU amongst the corporate world. Testimony of same is an overall 10x times increase in number of corporate hiring future leaders from LPU, exponential rise in addition of pedigree and marquee brands, elevation of average, mean, median, and highest packages offered to students across 30 plus schools and 200 plus courses. Sharp rise in inking of niche corporate MOUs and industry-backed courses, formulation of COEs, course integration, and curriculum updation. To his credit, he has been recognized as a senior IEEE member. Also, he has been among 3 professors chosen pan-India by the leadership team at Wipro Technologies for the Coveted Innovation Chair and Professor at Mission 10X Concept Center under the Mission 10X initiative of Wipro. Further, he has reviewed 3 books on signal and systems and proud member on the editorial board of numerous journals and conferences of repute. So, sir, it's a privilege to have you on board with us today. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for this quick.
Thank you, sir. Moreover, I humbly welcome our expert, Dr. Sachin Sidra, Assistant Professor, Department of Soft Skills, Center of Professional Enhancement, Lovely Professional University. Sir, thank you so much for giving us your valuable time. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, Harpal sir, over to you for the content of the day and looking forward for a great interactive session.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. First, let me first thank the organizers for giving us an opportunity to talk with the future leaders. So for us, each one of you is a future leader because we feel that if we work along with you, not only you will make name, but then the entire process, maybe your alum will also make some name. So that's how we have been treating these interactions to be super critical to all of us. Now, if you see the heading of this entire deck, I'm going to present a small deck to you. So the heading says that we're trying to decode the next level jobs in the India's largest single campus private university, which happens to be a university. So I run the division of career services. So we are a central division and we cut through all 30 plus schools and 200 plus courses which the university has to offer. The idea for each one of us is to try and work along with the corporate world and try and understand as to what their needs are. Try to work one step ahead and then work along with them and then do a lot of course integration and then try and find out avenues where we can work along with the corporate at tandem so that you can make great careers for yourself. So that's the intent of our division. So next few minutes, I'm going to give you a glimpse of what is lying ahead of you if you choose to work along with us. So we are going to talk about a little bit about the impactful journey of curating great careers at LPU. We're going to give you the glimpses of some of our growth partners. And then more critical for each one of you is how we do it for our students. So by the way, we call our students to be as Vertos, simple meaning that we want all of them to be as change agents. So we'll give you some tricks as to how we have done it for a lot of your seniors and how critically we are looking at putting this intervention for each one of you so that you become a differentiator in whatever you choose subsequently. So let me start my deck with whatever we have done thus far. So if you see, this is the logo of your university. So the logo of university talks about the ray of light cutting through nationally, internationally, and this is the ray of education which we feel is cutting through. And if you can see this, the backdrop will get a lot of logos. So some of you can recognize some of the logos. Other logos are really marquee and big logos to work along with. So the idea basically is to curate this wall of fame. So this wall of fame is actually a wall at block number 32 where we put a lot of logos and we keep reworking on the logos. So these are the logos where students have worked earlier and have made meaning for themselves and for their parents, for the ecosystem, and also for the alma mater. Let me cut straight to what we have done in last couple of years. So these are some jaw-dropping numbers which I'm going to put in front of you. So if you can see, we work along with 2,000 plus recruiters in a year. Now, which means that if you do a simple mathematics of 2,000 divided by 364 or 365, whatever days will a year have, you'll come to about 4.5 companies every day. Yes, you have heard it correct, 4.5 companies every day. And if you take out the gadgeted holidays and Saturdays and Sundays, so we do close to about 9 companies in a day, 9 complete companies in a day in your campus, which is the most vibrant campus in the country. So the highest offering in terms of national offering which we could get this year was about 64 lakh rupees, though we have also done a Google at about 66 lakh rupees. So the highest stipend which we have actually achieved for students of ours was about 1.6 lakh rupees per month, 1.6 lakh rupees per month. Most of the recruiters which visit to your university will also visit a lot of marquee IIMs, IITs, NITs for the similar roles, for the similar packages, for the similar kind of work force which they are trying to curate with these campuses. All of us, if we take out any of the courses, we are trying to draw an ROI. So the other figure which talks about 1,000 plus companies will offer dream packages about more than 5 lakh rupees or above. So we have kept 5 mark to be the benchmark, and then anything beyond that, we call that to be a stream. And then now we have kind of benchmarked ourselves with the best of the institutes nationally, internationally, and we've actually raised the bar this year. 18,000 offers is what we have generated in last 2 years. So that's some of the milestones which I wanted to share across with each one of you. Now, some more success stories. So with a package of about 20 lakh rupees and more, you have heard it correct, 20 lakh rupees and more. So we've got about 55 offers which the students have got. 430 students have actually got offers of more than 10 lakh rupees. 10,000 plus students have been placed. The exact figure I've just quoted in the last slide itself. It's about 18,000 numbers which were done in 2021 and 22 put together. 5,000 plus offers have been extended from Fortune 500 companies. I hope that each one of you understand what you mean by Fortune 500 or Fortune 100 companies. They are marquee names to be working along with, and that's how they find their name in this marquee list. So about 5,000 offers from these many companies, and then we have been very cognizant of the fact that the startup culture in the country and nationally is also picked up. So we work along with the best of the startups as well. I'm going to give you a glimpse of that subsequently as well. Now look at this curated backdrop in front of you. Now this talks about a record-breaking package of 3 crores. Yes, you have heard it correct. 3 crore rupees for a student of ours from the class of 2018, and he has got this offer. You can see a Palo Alto there at about 49.4 lakh rupees. This year also we have done Palo Alto, and we've got 2 students at a package of about 56 lakh rupees. You can see Google at 48 lakh rupees. I said that we've also done Google at 64 lakh rupees. You can see Hare Krishna somewhere, yeah, on the right side. And we've also done the highest national offer of this year, which is about 62.72 lakh rupees. That's a national offer. I mean, that's a package which our student of ours, who is called as Arjun, is getting in India. So top recruiters, I can name some of them. So I put some of them because I could have not put all 2,000 logos or names here, but then some of the names which I've put here is Cognizant, Capgemini, L&T, Wipro, DXC. So a lot of these companies do also come and visit at your university and pay the same kind of packages which they are paying at different places, be it some marquee NITs which are very high up in the rankings as well. So the kind of same packages and the kind of same roles is what students from LPU are also getting it. So we have said that a differential package, that's the meaning of differential package, which means that these companies, when they come to campus, they will come with a vanilla package. Then they will also come with a package ahead to that and 2 packages ahead to that also. That is what we have been doing along at your university. So some more success stories here. Now, if you can see, we are talking about Sundar Reddy. So Sundar Reddy was picked up at about a mammoth package of 40 lakh rupees with Amazon. And mind you, he's not from computer science. 46.4 lakh rupees. You can see Himanshu, he's from computer science. You can see Samir and Roy, so he has been picked up from EC and at a package of about 46.6 lakh rupees, 46.4 lakh rupees. So you can see the kind of roles and packages which the students are trying to get to themselves. We don't stop here. So there are two ways by which the international placements also happen at your university. So I think you would be cognizant of the fact that we've got representation from all the states and all the union territories of the country, and also from 30 countries of the world, which means that we have got international students also. So the international placement works this way, that we've got international offers for Indian students and we've got international offers for international students. That is what we have been doing. So Parmeet, he has been picked up last year at a package of 32 lakh rupees. He was from BSc Airlines, Tourism and Hospitality. Anand Ishrat, she has been placed at a grant stipend about 10.8 lakh rupees at Urbane Design. So she's a student from a School of Architecture and Design. Similarly, you can see Shobha Developers, Kimji Ramdas, Hayat, Veera, Piano Cruise, Emerald, Heritage. I mean, the list is big. So what I want you to do subsequently, if you want to see the entire list, is that you should come down to my homepage, which is lpu.in, and then click on the tab for placements. That will take you to the placements page. We put a lot of good stories there, and we've put a lot of vibrant stories there, and we keep on updating our website. So there'll be a drop-down box. If you scroll down, there'll be a drop-down box. In the drop-down box, you can put your chosen fraternity wherever you want to subsequently take admission into, and then see for yourself as to what all companies, what all roles, what all packages, what all stipends, and where all the students are working along. So they'll give you a complete pakka picture of what we have been doing as an ecosystem. And obviously there's 3 crore packages for Germany, and Yasir, so he has picked up this package. You can also see Shivangi, so she's an design student. Barburito, she has been picked up at a package of 15 lakh rupees. So Masquerida, another student at about 10.33 lakh rupees. So that's how, and he's a student from BSc Design and Fashion, which means that we have a team which works along with all the schools, all the courses which the university has to offer, and then that's how we work along with each one of you standing at the last as well, because each one of you is super critical for us. So that's how we have been doing this. If you happen to look at my website, so you'll see all the success stories. So we have given all close to about 400 names along with their picks as to what package, what company, and what role they have been picked up. So I invite you to pay a visit to my homepage and then click on the placement tab, so that you can see more stories there. Not only that, so our alums have been doing great for themselves as well. You can see our alums working in EYs of the world, and the Googles of the world, or the Adobes of the world, and getting packages of more than 3 crore rupees. That's what our alum have been doing over a period of time, which means that you're as good as a university as your students are. So that's how we keep working along with our students and try and understand what is their next move in their career, and work along with them so that we make a joint story for them as well as for us. So that's how we have been very cautious in working along with our alum as well. Now that's one part of the story. The second part of the story is which should be more enticing for each one of you. I've showed you some piece of dream, as I may say so at this point in time for each one of you. Now I'll tell you as to how you put small steps so that we take you towards that dream of yours to be getting placed in a marquee company. So this is how we have been doing along. So we've got a complete finishing school, and post me, Dr. Sidra is going to give you a small glimpse of what this school is all about. So we call this school very passionately as a School of Professional Enhancement. So they work along with each one of you right from first year, and we do a lot of benchmarking with the best of the best nationally, internationally, and then we try and put strategize different training needs to each one of your needs. We do a lot of third-party assessments. So this basically gives us a lot of faith as to whatever we are trying to do. Are we going in the right direction or not? How are we standing nationally or internationally? That is what we have been doing. Whenever a company does come into the campus, we do a lot of practice as well, because not unless you do your practice sessions nice, you'll not be able to put a good cover drive, however good batsman you are. So that's how we do a lot of practice platforms as well. There's hardly a day when any leader nationally or internationally will not talk to you in your university. So there are multiple forums, multiple student ventures. In fact, we've got a division of student affairs So which talks about holistically developing a student and then giving them a lot of intervention as to how the leaders think. So there are a lot of curated sessions for you, for each one of you, in terms of guest lectures, in terms of workshops. Not only that, we promote our students to do participate in industry competitive events. So the students do participate in industry competitive events, national, and then try and understand as to uh, uh, how the gamification works and how the best of the best in the country and nationally have been working along and putting a resolve to the competitive events which a lot of corporates do put to. So much so that today my Hacker Earth rank has stayed as third in the country since last up in so many years. And if you happen to see the Hacker Earth and Hacker Earth link, you will see that our logo is very much there. And the way we are a little unique is that we allow this one-year internship program, which is very unique to what an LPU has to offer. So for most of my courses, we invite companies into the campus and we do this one-year internship program. The way we do it is that we've kept our curriculum a little light in final year, such that you work along with the best of the pedagogies, with the best of the minds, with the best of the tools, with the best of the problem statement, and trying to put a resolve to the problem statement of today and tomorrow. That's what we have been doing. And then we have kind of mastered this art of this one-year internship program. And as I said, for most of our programs, we do this one-year internship program. Now, this is very critical. So I talked about internship and industrial training. So we have put up a small data for you that we've got about 4,000 students currently doing internship in various companies. Whenever we work along with these companies, we see that the students do get a lot of good stipends. I give you a glimpse of 1.6 lakh rupees a stipend per month, what the students have actually achieved. So these internship programs can be a small 2-month internship, or it can be a 4-month internship, 6-month internship, 9-month internship, or as big as about one-year internship. So the way we do it is that we work along with the companies, and then we have got a PU, business unit leader, working along with faculty inside. They talk continuously and do a lot of continuous assessment, so that they understand as to whatever you are trying to work, whether that is in sync with the larger story or not. So that's how we have been countering this internship program, which a lot of other universities have now emulated from our side. Most of our students do live projects as well, because we want that your resume should look little individualistic when you sit in front of the corporates. That'll only happen if at all you work on your resume. So if you work on your resume, the only way to work on your resume is to populate that resume with your endeavors. That is what the Center of Professional Enhancement is going to talk about. That is what we have been working along with with a lot of our students. And the second way with which we are a little unique is that we've got a lot of co-branded courses from the corporates, which means that a corporate will come and will suggest some courses to us, and these courses then get intermingled with your curriculum, and this curriculum is then taught to you. And then the first right of rejection goes to these companies. You can see the name of Google and Informatica here. Incidentally, I'm wearing an Informatica shirt also today. We've got some courses from DI and DQ integrated back into our curriculum. And the first right of rejection means that they will first come and hire you. If they will find you good, they'll take you. If they will not find you good, then we'll open it to the other companies. That's how we have been working along with the best of the corporates, nationally, internationally. A lot of our MBA programs are also picked up by industry, and we go work along with the industry. Today we are talking about functional being introduced in SAP. We are talking about MBA financial markets. We are talking about product management. We are talking about how the next level of jobs in MBA will look like. We are talking about the next level of jobs in terms of chief of staffs and all that. So everything is put together, and that's how we work along with the MBA folks as well. And now, if you talk about our CSC program, so we've got super specialized courses like cybersecurity, blockchain, with CompTIA, you can see. With EC, we do a lot of courses with Internet of Things, with maybe an NI, National Instrument, or with an Intel. If I'm talking about civil, then we are doing a lot of courses which are endorsed by L&T and other companies as well. And then we also do a lot of Center of Excellences. So these Center of Excellences, you can see a lot of good names towards the last row of this presentation deck, which talks about the Googles of the world, the Microsofts, the Autodesk, Cisco, Bosch, Cadence, Safe Educate, Sumer Agro. So these are some of the companies which have got COEs inside, which means that they give a lot of problem statements to our teaching as well as learning ecosystem, which means we work along our faculties as well as our students, such that they work on the best of the corporate problems. Now, this is basically a straight lift from what a corporate is looking from each one of you. So I've taken this from McKinsey and Company. I hope all of you understand what is McKinsey and how marquee they are and what kind of rules and packages they give. And so the first thing which is expected out of freshers like you is to be curious. So you always should start with a why. If you understand why, we will tell you how. That's more critical because we have done the how part with so many of your seniors, and we understand how the trick to get the how part of it. But then first, before going into the how part of it, you should understand why. So that's very critical. So the why part will be given by my teaching learning fraternity, by my finishing school, along with a lot of our interventions in terms of guest lectures, life projects, stipends and all that, so that you understand your why. This why then eventually should become your resume. A curated part of it should become a resume of yours. Then it becomes a very individualistic resume for each one of you. Now, we should understand that we're working in heterogeneous teams. So obviously, one has to understand ambiguity and stay humble. Because the facts are going to change very critical, very fastly. And in today's world, everything changes with a snap of a finger. So for that to happen, you need to be accepting multiple cycles of learning, unlearning, and then relearning, so that you stay relevant to what is happening inside the corporate world. Now, we want each one of you to be multifaceted, visioned when it comes to understanding the bigger picture, because you as an individual is just solving a snippet of a problem statement of a big problem. Now, if you understand, if you take a 360-degree view of the entire problem statement, you are more sellable yourself. So we will teach you to be so. That's very critical. We know that data is a king today, so we want you to work on data. So pursue the occurrent behavior is very critical. None of us is intelligent as all of us put together. So that's how we feel that a collective intelligence will actually give you a lot of edge. And more critically, whenever there is an opportunity, show and tell whatever you have done, because that's super critical. Which means that I'm going to point a word which is very new, which is going to be the Gartner's on the highest side. It is called as Internet of Behavior. Now, the Internet of Behavior talks about you being consistent across all your social handles, which means that you be you in LinkedIn, you be you in Geek and Geek, you be you in maybe a Instagram or a Facebook or whatever it is, which means that you cannot be a you dash, or you cannot be a you complement in one platform, and you cannot be a you in other platform. So the story has to be consistent. So that is what is Internet of Behavior is all about. So you have to behave consistently across. And Gartner says that this trait is going to be super critical in times to come, when you're going to graduate from whatever courses you are taking at LPU. So we do a lot of gap assessment right from the first year itself, and then we propose a lot of verticals on which we will train you individualistically, because we feel that your story is your story. So the idea is that your story should be in sync with our story. That's how we work along with each one of you. That's how each one of you is critical for us. So that's how we define the long range training, or maybe a short trainings of short modules, credited, non-credited, in the final year or in the pre-final year or right in the first year itself. So we do a lot of this analysis. So we work very aggressively on data, and we curate a lot of data. That's how we got a separate team which does this in and out for you 24/7, 365. Dr. Siddha is going to give you a small glimpse of how big the team is. And I've been said that we've got about 250 folks working long day in, day out with each one of you. So that we curate that data, and then we work on data and in that data, and then we make you really pakka to get a sellable job. So that's the intent. I've talked about this. So our team basically, so this is our finishing school. So our team basically talks about verbal ability, analytical ability, and then what you speak without speaking anything. So that's where the soft skills are critical. What about language talks about? How you should say it, how you should talk, what should not talk, what you should present given an opportunity. And more critically, we've also seen that if you understand the culture of a company which is going to send you to any foreign place to work to, and if you are able to understand their culture and talk with conviction, that'll give you a lot of accessibility. And that's how we've been working along with foreign language teams as well. I can give you an example of Bosch here. So Bosch year on year recruit huge numbers from LPU. and most of our students have been going to Germany. So we thought that if at all of our students are going to Germany, why don't we teach German language inside the campus, along with the help of teams from Bosch and Goethe. So that is what we have done. So we are teaching Mandarin, we are teaching Japanese. So all these languages we are training to the proficiency level. That's how we have been working along with each one of you. So as I've said, we call each one of you to be as Vertos, change agents. So we want you to be working along on yourself first. We do a lot of credited, non-credited classes. I just said there are a lot of opportunities where we'll do a need-based assessment, so that we get that leadership board and we understand that these set of students will require something differentially, something extra, and all those kind of things. We do a lot of mock drives, as I said. Before any company comes in, my team will work along and give you a document which is called as Know Your Company, KYC. So that talks about the role, that talks about the company, that talks about the offices of the company, that talks about what the company does and what is expected out of that role and what is expected you to be fitting to be that getting into that role. So we talked about that as well. I did give you an example of a lot of clubs and activity. The campus hardly sleeps, which means that you will find activity around the corner at different parts of the campus. We do a lot of competitive events and hackathons. We curate some of we participate. There are a lot of opportunities where you become a campus ambassador, which means that I can give the example of Virtusa here. So Virtusa has been a great stable partner with us. Every year they have certain students who work as campus partners or campus ambassadors. So they work along with the learning fraternity inside. They work with the students, and then they make you understand as to what kind of roles, what kind of things can come up subsequently. A lot of workshops, guest lectures, live examples, industrial visits. I've given an example of what we do as COEs and industry tie-ups. I've given an example of those co-branding, and we work along with each one of you to get your curated CV. Dr. Sidra is going to give you a small glimpse of that as well. And then we see that your story stays your story at GitHub or a Weebly or a LinkedIn or any of your digital profiles. So with this, let me now hand it over to Dr. Sachin. I'm going to stay here for a couple of more minutes to take any questions which may pop up subsequently. All yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So yes, as Dr. Thetiya said, we do work on a lot of things. We do work on a lot of hands-on learning experiences that we provide to you, because we believe that theory can prepare you to a certain extent, but if you have the practical exposure and practical know-how, you can actually work yourself to the real-time environment and you can have the confidence of showcasing your talent very nicely. Now, before I start, I'm going to present my screen to you so that we can do an activity where I give you hands-on of learning, and for that, let me just show my screen to you. So this activity, I would say, will talk a lot about you and how you would, come out to others, and this would also give you a lot of information as to how people perceive many things about you without even talking to you. So when we are talking about how people perceive a lot of things, hello, all right.
Yes, sir.
So how people,
Sir, I would help you out with
how
your
people,
presentation.
all right, fine. So how would people perceive your personality without even talking to you? You must have come across a lot of things like these. So let's talk about that. And this comes across with the help of your body language. So what is exactly the thing that body language does for us? Body language is by far the most important thing that we talk about. And I'm going to talk about a very small snippet of the soft skills training to you people, but a very important one. Why did I choose body language tips with you? Well, because this part of our communication is actually beyond our control. And when we say it's beyond our control, it is going to be very, very dangerous as well if not held properly, if not worked upon properly. Um, Sir, I think my screen has stopped showing. Can I? Hello.
Yes, sir, your screen is visible. So you can continue with your presentation.
Okay, my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. So you can move on to the next slide.
Okay, I can move on to the next slide. So give me a moment. Is it changing?
Um, no,
I've
yes,
just
sir.
changed the
It
slide.
is. Yes, sir. We
In
can
the
see
brain.
the slide with the first impression.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you can
exactly.
yourself.
Yes, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, what what this does for you is it creates the first impression of you in anybody's mind. Have you ever come across a friend tell you that the first time I saw you, I thought you were very angry kind of person, but you are now that we are friends, I realize you're a very happy or a sweet kind of a person, or you are a very cool person to be with. Why does that happen? Because maybe for the first time when they saw you, you were looking at people like this, with a frown on your face. So they were not able to perceive the right impression of you. And believe me when I say this, your first impression is the most lasting impression that you have on people. And if your first impression does not go right, a lot of things can change, especially in the corporate environment, where your recruiters should have the right kind of first impression about you. 55% of your communication is purely without the use of a single word or the tone of voice, you can communicate. So 55%. And you have to be very sure when I say this, that this 55% sometimes happens consciously, sometimes it might happen unconsciously as well. That means you are not even looking at the person, you're not even addressing them, but they look at you and they draw an impression about you. And this does happen a lot of times, right? So, if you're talking about body language, there are certain tips that I would like to share with you. The first is what kind of posture. When you look at this posture, students, I think you can write your answers on chat if you have the chat open for you. What kind of posture does this mean to you? If someone stands in front of you like this, what does that mean? What exactly does this posture speak to you? Do we have chats? Can I see the chat? I may. All right. So this kind of posture is called an open and power posture. That means the person is having full attention over the one who they are looking at or who they are addressing, and also exerts power in his or her behavior towards them. That means they are not just connected with the person in front, but they are also saying, I am in the position of calling the shots for you. So a lot of people you might see they come and stand like this in front of you. That means they want to exert power to you. Sometimes this posture is also taken by people who are very aggressive to work. Now, when people are in work mode, they would usually say, what next should I do? Where do we need to go? And you'll see their body language is almost open and very positive. They are very positive about things. This can be done. This will happen. Let's try to do this. You look at their body posture, they are open, they're positive, they're full of energy, brimming with it. But sometimes when you see someone like this, what does that mean? It means this posture is submissive or closed. There are people who would not come up and say, okay, I would take the lead, or okay, let's do this. They would probably wait for someone to give them set of instructions, or there would be someone who would not be responsive, rather reactive to things. They usually would stand in front of you, address you, but they would wait for your approval, your assistance, your guidance, and they would wait for the thing to happen for which they react. And these kinds of body postures, if you are looking at someone in an employment perspective, make a lot of difference. And that is why in your classes in soft skills, we at the university we talk a lot about how do you sit correctly. Why is it so important? What percentage of your first impression is the thing that will last till the end of the interaction with the HR? And that's why we have these detailed inputs of soft skills. Speaking more about body language, which is one of the most overshadowed yet very important part of communication, the expression on your face. Well, you might be short, you might be tall, you might be fair, you might be dark, you might be fit, you might be stout, you might be lean, but the kind of expression that you carry on your face makes a lot of difference, and people can have their positive or negative views about with the kind of expression that you have on your face. That is why it is always advised have a pleasant expression on your face. Why? Because pleasance is loved by people around, and frown is usually not regarded as a very good expression. So if you look at these pictures that I put on my slide here, can you name all these expressions? Of course, one is a happy expression, the first one on the top row, followed by the others. And each and every expression, whenever it is there on your face, people draw a lot of impressions about you. And trust me, they would carry this image of yours in their face for a very long time, till the time you get a fair chance to break that image. And if that image is not being broken, you might be a different person. They might perceive you as a different one. Well, low power postures. I think usually as students you would have seen these postures of your friends or for yourself whenever you were in the place where your teacher was either scolding you or your parents were discussing something that you don't want to discuss, or there is something that makes you nervous, unsafe, or underconfident. We tend to come into these closed body postures which show low power. And these postures for everyone can be, you know, what can I say? It can be a deal breaker. Why? Because as an employee, a company expects you to be in these kinds of postures, the high power postures, where you exert confidence. The one in middle is a high power posture. The other one, two, three, and four are authority postures. And out of these postures come out to be the right kind of body language. So, what are the effects of body language on a person? Well, it has a big effect on your mind. Speaking of that, if we are talking about body language, the first thing about positive body language is when you have a positive and open body language, you tend to be enthusiastic. You tend to feel fresh, energetic. But on the other hand, if your body language is negative, uh-oh, not a good thing. You might be resistant. You might be very closed. You might not want to contribute. Your enthusiasm levels would be low. You would also doubt your abilities if you are into a negative body language structure. Whereas a positive body language can lead to boost in confidence. And that is why when we see our students come into the class, we always tell them to come in confidently. It's not it's not possible for us to feel good every day. But if we keep the right kind of body language, it gives us the right kind of mindset. Yes, you can work your mindset with the help of the body language that you're maintaining. And trust me, sometimes your low moods or your foul moods can also be taken care of if you deliberately modify your body language. And I'll give you this observation and I can give you this exercise to do. Once you're done with this, try doing this. The moment you feel a little under energetic or you feel I'm not having enough of confidence for this situation, just look at yourself in a mirror or your selfie camera and smile to yourself and say, hi, let's do this. And trust me, you will feel that yes, there was a bit of difference for the moment I said, hi, let's do this to me with a smile on the face. And trust me, it will boost your confidence. Other than that, people with positive body language, they are always comfortable of taking on challenges. They are those people who would say, let's do this, let's see what happens. But on the other side, If you have a negative body language, you would never try to take risks. You would never try to take on challenges. And trust me, no risk, no gains. So if you want to grow, you have to leave your comfort zone. You have to come out of those comfort places and take risks because that risk helps you to grow. And that risk is only possible when you have a thought here, plus you feel that energy in your body. People with positive body language can also be passionate to drive results. They work for results. They work to win. They work to get the job done. And people with negative body languages, they're like, I don't care whatever happens. I have done my part. They are not very caring. They are indifferent towards things. They will just try to complete the time of work allotted to them. And such employees in the corporates are never regarded. But when a company or an employer finds that a person is passionate to drive results, believe me, you have all the doors of opportunities opening for you. And the first show of it comes in your body language. Well, if you have a positive body language, this part is very important and it is a USP, it is like a diamond in your personality's jewelry. You are able to recognize future demand. You can forecast, you can think through the future, and you can realize that, okay, with changing times, this needs to change. Why? Because your body language is towards growth mindset. You are acting growth mindset. You are talking growth mindset. You are thinking growth mindset. Whereas if you have a negative body language, you are just disconnected from reality. You're just doing things as they come. You're not worried about how the future is going to look. You're just living for the day. And you'll see you're coming with an attitude that, okay, I'll see what happens to me. But this for you could be a wrong thing because the employers today are looking for people who are problem solvers, solution providers, and not just solution providers and problem solvers, but sustainable solution providers, people who can provide long-term solutions and are always ready to improvise on themselves. Therefore, you should have an impressive, energetic, and a very, very positive body language. Well, that's all about from me, from my side on the tips for the body language. We open the house for questions. Sir, any questions?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Harpal sir. Thank you, Sachin sir, for intensifying and magnifying the knowledge. And I believe the audience, they have gained a lot from the inputs and sharing shared by you. So thank you so much, sir. And yes, sir, we have few queries from the attendees. So with your permission, we'll take up those queries. Harpal sir.
Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
All right, sir. So, sir, there is a query from Sohit Mahajan. He wants to know how important is attitude in a job interview? Like, what are the power moves to stay positive and calm during the process?
So, Mr. Mahajan, I think you would have seen yesterday's match. If you have not, you should go back and see the match. So I'll take you to the last over when India was batting, and on the fourth ball, when Hardik did a cover drive, so it was well protected. I think he should have got a four there, but didn't got a four. And he should have seen his move just immediately after that. And he said that, "ठीक है, changa. Next ball, you see that. Next ball, it was swung to a six." So attitude does play a very critical role because no, it's knowledge is everywhere in today's digital world. No, knowledge is everywhere. So you come to universities to understand what is a positive attitude and how you sell your story. That's how you come to the universities. Now, whenever these corporate events will happen, no, so they will test you immensely without you knowing that they are actually testing you. I'll give you an example. So whenever these campuses do come into campuses, no, any companies coming inside campus called as campus event. So whenever there is a campus event, so they will make you wait for good 7, 8 hours or 10 hours or whatever it is. So there will be multiple rounds happening, but then obviously there will be some wait period in between. Now, and it's just very deliberate because no, A, they will have more numbers to address to A. B, they want to test you that if they're trying to test you towards the time machine, how are you reacting? And if they are going to take your very critical conversation, which is called as face-to-face interview, let's say at 12 o'clock at night, how you are reacting. That's how the world is divided. The world of business is divided, because understand that you are not working in India as a geography itself. You are working at a APAC zone or a JPAC zone or the Americas or the Europes, and that's how we've got different time zones. So that's how you have to present a case which you have very diligently built during an IST the entire day, and then you have to present it maybe to Americas when everybody is sleeping in India. So that's how the attitude plays a very, very critical role. So there are multiple ways of testing all these things. Once you are here, we'll tell you all the stories, all the gyan, we'll give it to you. Don't worry. But then yes, attitude is super critical. So I can say that people do come to universities today to grasp that attitude, because they will see people like Dr. Ruby or Dr. Sachin Sidra, how they live their life, how they tackle two problems, and then knowingly or unknowingly they will emulate that. So that's how education is today. Yeah, that's my answer.
Astonishing explanation, sir, and I completely agree with you. Thank you so much, sir. And Sachin sir, I don't think there is any space to add something, but if you want to add any line or anything to this.
I would just add one line to it. Sir has beautifully covered the entire thing and added the example beautifully to it. Um, I think half of your war is won when you come with the right attitude. So that's what it is all about. So you bring the right attitude, half of your job is done. The other half is just formality that will be completed through the process.
Thank you so much, sir. So thank you, Harpal sir. Thank you, Sachin sir, for resolving the query of our attendees. And with this, we'll conclude today's webinar. So attendees, that's all for today. Thank you for sparing time and participating in today's webinar. I appreciate you all for being here, and I believe your knowledge has been enriched by this webinar. And I would like to express my appreciation to the experts for their valuable contribution today to today's webinar. I believe your years of experience, your years of research will definitely help the audience to choose the right path. So until next time, I, Ruby, will finally sign off the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.